What I guess Coach Taggart said the other day that he was been impressed by how much more advanced the offensive linemen are technique-wise. How hard have those guys worked to improve?
They had a great summer, and the senior leadership's real strong. Means something to them, and so it's been really fun to watch them. Come out and see. When you get out here, you sort of see, and we still have tests along the way. We're still rolling. Because we have full pads, coming up, and scrimmages and all those things, and blitzes and movement. But they're getting the core of what we want down, and that's been real impressive to watch.
One of the things I've seen you do, it seems like you're kind of like asking them, giving them some ownership in what you do when you do it. And is that accurate?
Yeah, it's you're trying to get them to understand that the fundamentals are really, it should work against a lot of things. There's going to be certain instances where we got to change what we do or how we do it, but if we can get really good at what we know we're going to need, and that's the goal, and that's what we're trying to do. And so, teaching them different ways to attack, different, the beautiful thing about football is everything's different. Every defensive lineman's different. Every defense is different. So, figuring out how to piece it all together where they can play fast, play, physical, have fun, score points, and really master what we're trying to get them to do.
Has that philosophy of being simple been something you've been able to do throughout your career, or is that something more?
Yeah, try to. You try to. Different offenses, different places, different deals. But when you're dealing with young minds and trying to learn, if you teach them to play hard and then build from there, I think it works pretty well.
Have they been more relaxed around you during these practices? Because I noticed once during the spring, a lineman was kind of waiting for somebody to jump down and scream at him, and you're like, no, this is a new regime, new leadership. It's different.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. I wasn't here, so I don't know what it was like before. Love those coaches, known them for a long time. So, I know Coach Dawson and I coached together for a long time. I know Coach Trickett for a long time. So, I don't know how it was, before. I wasn't here, but I know that what we're focused on is trying to build the player. From the academics, the athletics, the social, helping them out. And every coach goes through different things in their careers that sort of transform how they think about players and what they do. And so, for me, some of my past experiences, I can relate a little bit. When you're asking me to do this, but you're telling me to do this, which one is it? And you yell at me when I don't. So, I try to make it clean, try to make it clear, try to make it concise. This is what we want. If I screw something up, hey, own up to it. That's part of being in a relationship. These guys aren't, they're not little kids. We're not telling them what to do. We're working together to get them to a place, and that's what we're trying to do.
How has Juwan handled the first few days with you actually getting out there and working?
Been some good, some bad. We got to get, we got to work through some habits, do some things like everybody. You come off those summers, and they work so hard and they do it, but the attention to detail, the pad level, the pressure of it, isn't always there. So you gotta create that. You gotta continue to go. So the guys came out. It's been a really fun, educational, opening of camp. And so hopefully we keep going on that, keep rolling.
With the tempo that you guys run, what's the balance between pushing the offensive lineman and then kind of scaling back, giving them the rest they need as they're adjusting to it?
It's one of those things where each player is different. So you really want to keep the pressure on. As you play in games, you realize that as an offensive line, usually if we're on a ninth play of a drive, the defensive lineman's on their fourth play. They're going to sub in and out. And so you've got to be, in certain moments as you get close to them, you've got to be at your peak of the game, and you got to understand how to hold your energy and how to be efficient and how to, continue to build and then be in great shape. And that's sort of what some of these practices are, and stressing them and helping their body conform to what we want it to be.
What's it been like for you coming back? Hear from Clay and some of the former buddies.
It's great. And I tell everybody when I come back, we watch the Bowden Dynasty as a group, as a team, and you look and you see those faces and those people in those locker rooms, and you're like, dang, I used to walk right up there. This was a road when I was here. I mean, we would be standing right in the middle of Pensacola, I think. You know, and so you see the changes and you see what it became, and it really puts into perspective, you know, that hey, listen, we're just borrowing this. You know, we're going to put our stamp on it. We're going to put our thing on it. But for us and for me and these players and these coaches, this is our year and this is our opportunity to add to that Florida State legacy and to what Coach Bowden built here. You know, what Coach Fisher carried on, and then what hopefully, you know, as we go, we build it, you know, as well in Coach Taggart's view. And so coming back is a flood of emotions when you see it. What's really cool is I got to bring my family. And so now they're meeting some of these people and they're putting names with faces, and they hear this old story about, you know, when we were at the Orange Bowl or when we were doing this, and oh, that's the guy you talk about, you know. And so that's really cool because we didn't have that, because I've traveled. I've been in the Midwest for the last 10 years and, you know, down in South Florida before that. So you know, with my family, I didn't have it. So now they get to experience a little bit of it as well, and that's really cool.
I know you were obviously busy on Saturday. You were busy on Saturdays, but how much did you pay attention to Florida State even when you were off?
Oh, I was always. This is, you know, you love the people, and you know, I mean, I really, I appreciate everything that you know, Coach Bowden really taught us that, hey, you know, God's going to use it in His will, in His way. And so I always sort of took that deal, and hey, it's God's will, and wherever He wants to take me, I'll go. And so I was always appreciative of that, because I was able to, you know, take some good and some bad and work through it, and you know, just continue building myself. And so, you know, what my parents taught me that, and Coach Bowden, you know, continued on. Then I got in the college coaching world. It sort of made sense, and I just, you know, and I've always been appreciative of what Florida State. I mean, there's not many people that can say, you know, what happened here, you know, what he did in those years, and to be a part of it, and you know, that was a blessing, and really, you know, you learn how to compete. The cauldron of competition that was when we were here, it prepares you for whatever you're going through, wherever you're at. And so, you know, I just was always appreciative of that, you know, from a personal standpoint. And then the teammates, you know, your teammates were big time. They instilled those things too. You know, Clay and Todd Fordham and Lewis, and you know, all those guys I hung out with. You know, Forrest Conley came back. I saw Jesus, and you know, all these guys. You know, they come. I can keep going on. The older guys, you know, as you go, and Eric Gibbs, and you know, there's just so many of them. But that group of people supported that, and that was nice, and it led for what you want, what you're trying to give your players when they walk away. You know what you want them to feel, you know, and that's cool, and that coming back has been, you know, really neat. You know, so you sit at some of those alumni at other places, you know, yeah, it's all right, yeah, you know, hey, this is so and so. Okay, well, he ain't Charlie Ward now, you know, he ain't, you know, and then when you think of the guys come through there, hey, Walter Jones, you know, that dude's, you know, and your guys compete with everybody out there that you know, appreciate. You want them to have that same feeling, that same pride, that same love, that same appreciation for their lives, whatever it is, whether it's the NFL or business or just becoming a coach. You want them to be able to take what you've taught them, and I think that's what really stands out when I came back to Tallahassee. I've been able to take what I was taught and my life lessons and help become what, you know, what we've become, you know, me and my players. So.
All right.